Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd here again with another, I don't know, hopefully you feel handy little video. Today I want to talk about half-ton trucks and towing a fifth wheel. This is an area that is really murky in the marketing end of things. Um, if you've watched a lot of my videos, you'll hear me say things like technically half-ton towable versus really half-ton towable, and how few fifth wheels I feel are truly half-ton towable. It's a confusing segment of the market, and a lot of it is because I think a lot of people don't understand the difference in their vehicle between towing capacity and payload capacity, and that's really where it breaks down for a half-ton truck. They've made half-ton trucks generally far heavier duty than ever before in history. You know, I've seen, I think there's some rated like over 12 or something now, but you can get heavy half tons that are rated to pull over 10,000, but that's it. They're rated to pull over 10,000. They're not rated to handle that kind of weight that kind of rig might put into the bed of the truck. And this is what I mean by payload capacity. I've got some handy visual aids here. We've got a guy that writes mine on everything at the store, so this is not mine, even though it's, you get the idea, never mind. So this is not fancy like most of my demonstrations, but I think you'll get the idea. So this is your truck. You've got a front end, you got a back end, etc. Here you've got a fifth wheel. Now your truck's rated to tow 10,000 pounds. Let's say you got the big one. You got the big half ton. You're looking at a fifth wheel that weighs 8,900. You're thinking, I'm fine. I am fine. Problem is the payload capacity. The weight that your truck can handle in the truck bed is not 10,000 pounds. It is, let's say it's something like 14 to 1,600. Well, this 8,900 pound fifth wheel probably has some kind of slide out up in the bedroom, probably a closet slide at that weight. But anyway, some kind of slide out at that weight. That means it's probably got about a 1,400 pound pin weight. That means that the weight physically vertically asserted by the hitch is about 1,400 pounds. So that's like taking 1,400 pounds of bricks and putting them in the bed of your truck. If your truck is rated to handle 1,600 pounds of bricks and you're putting 1,400 in the back, your suspension is almost totally used up. You're just shy of bottoming out every time. You're really close to, like, you've got very little bump wiggle room here. So that is the weak point, and in a sense the fallacy of half-ton towable fifth wheels. Now I've kind of done some videos on what can I safely tow. If you're going to tow short distances over modest terrain, mostly flat landing, then you're probably okay with that. But if you're like, no, we're getting ready to retire and we're gonna travel, we're gonna see everything, you shouldn't be having a truck that has this little suspension left, because every time that bottoms out, you're stressing your brakes, your drivetrain, your suspension in a way that it's not designed to handle. And you're gonna burn your candle at both ends, and somewhere you're gonna be alongside the highway with the tow truck, and you're sitting here going, oh my God, what do I do now? You know, it's a bad situation, it's a problem. What do you do? What can you do? Is there anything? That's the next question. Yes and no. The common direct answer, and in a sense it's a band-aid fix, but it's a fairly effective one in most scenarios, is you get like some sort of suspension assist, whether it's an airbag system, whether it's a helper spring. But the important thing to keep in mind here is you're not bulking up the payload capacity of your truck. All you're doing is forcing the truck back up, which pushes some of that weight back on the axles of the trailer. The end effect, I guess you could say, is kind of the same thing. You're bulking up your suspension closer to that of a 3/4 ton truck. It'll generally work fine, but again, if we're going to be on the road all day, every day, we're retiring or full-time, should be in half-ton truck. If you're saying, well, you know what, my half-ton truck is how I get back and forth to work, and the fifth wheel I want pushes my capacity a bit, then you should get an airbag assist system, because you're not going to be stressing the truck that much every single time. You'll be fine. So, like most things in towing, it's use common sense. That's a scary prospect in today's market. I think you guys know what I mean. Um, so keep that in mind. So there's very few true half-ton towable trucks out there because it's not your engine that is the weak point. Heavy-duty half-ton probably has the same motor capacity as a three-quarter ton truck. The weak point is your suspension. You still have a half-ton more passenger grade versus industrial grade suspension. It's kind of like when you look at a three-quarter ton heavy-duty versus a one-ton truck. Sometimes the only difference is just an additional leaf spring, one or fewer leaf springs. Sometimes there's a true difference between like an actual bulkier chassis, but sometimes it's a very slight difference. If you've got a heavy duty three-quarter ton, you've basically got a one-ton truck. It's close. It's like if you get a heavy duty half-ton, you've got the power of a three-quarter, but you lack the suspension, and that's the key break point right there. So why is this important? Okay, so back to your truck. Let's say you've got that big heavy load on the back of it, and the truck is, most of the suspension's used up. You see how the front end of this is lifted up? That means that your steering tires up front here are very light. They're not getting good ground contact. That means that this thing is going to kind of, when you're going down the road with the truck up in the air, it's going to kind of want to float and wiggle and porpoise all over the place. That translates into an extreme whiplash effect because although a little bit of shimmy in the truck, you're like, whatever, no big deal. The problem is 35 feet behind you, the back of the trailer is going like this, like crazy. And then the truck starts getting pushed around and now you're in a real dangerous scenario. It's really important you keep the truck flat. The truck starts getting like this, you're in trouble. Not to mention, you're wearing out your trailer's axles and suspension. There's a reason your trailer has mostly two axles, unless you're in the case of a big fifth wheel toy hauler, but we're talking half-ton stuff, so that should never be the case. You should never be in a tri-axle on a half-ton, ever. Ever. Don't even dream of that. But your trailer has two axles. Let's say they're about here and here. If the front axle is burying the truck, and then it's carrying more weight than it's supposed to because the back axle isn't carrying its load. They're supposed to ride flat and level. Everything's supposed to be flat and level. If things aren't flat and level, somewhere you need to make adjustments. It's not right. That's it. It's just not right. If I had to choose, if you can't get it perfectly dead on level, having the trailer a little nose heavy and the back of the truck elevated slightly is my preference, because it keeps the weight on the steering tires, and that will help you go down the road a little bit like a straight arrow. Though the best result is always flat level towing. You have questions, you have concerns, call us. I mean, we've got towing specialists on the floor. We've got guys that came from Ford backgrounds, GM, Chrysler backgrounds, and Dodge, of course, as an extension. We've got towing specialists here. That's why we keep big trucks on hand. Someone said, well, you say you carry towing trucks for package deals. Where's your half tons? I don't need to stock half tons. The most common truck on the road, actually the most popular vehicle sold like the last 2 or 3 years is a half ton short bed pickup. I don't need half tons. Chances are you have one. We have to have bigger 3/4 ton trucks and up for those in mid-size and big-size fifth wheels and trailers. That's our specialty, is big towing stuff. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.